bad. It's not too good, but it's not too bad. Okay, cool. Let me get my this thing out. All right, so I was supposed to get up today and carve a 6 foot bear, and then I looked out there and the sun's beating on that thing, and I'm like, no, it can wait till evening. So I'll carve. I want to say it's a 6-inch bear, but it's probably about 8 inches actually. But we'll see how it goes. This one here I already had to cut down with a chainsaw, and I was thinking about making a little sign right there, and I may still do that. The way I got this laid out, it could be like he's holding a little sign. I don't know, or I might make a little sign piece to fit in there. Not really sure. I don't know. It looks like if I could just dig it like that and have the paws like that too. So we're gonna do one of these 2 ways. Let's see what we got here. Dad, Michael S. Woodchucker, members of the channel. That's awesome. Hey Ray, what's going on? Glad to see you guys. Heck yeah. So anyhow, I'm gonna do that. Be sure and hit the like button. I also got this piece. I thought about carving a face in it. We'll see how it goes. I've got some other pieces in here. Like that could potentially be a good one, but you can see a crack line running down through there, so I don't know. But these are going to be members giveaway stuff for next Friday is what I'm working on. So I think I'll start with the bear, actually, and to go from there. Yeah, I kind of dug in there a little bit. I was playing with him a little bit, it looks like, but I don't remember that. It's been a while. I cut this a while ago, so no shock there, right? Let's see. Hey, West Country Mudlarks, what's going on? Grumpy's Laid Back Carvings. Hey, Cheech. Hope you're doing pretty good today. Glad to see you. Heck yeah, y'all just be sure to smash the like button. And I'll go ahead and get my get this mask on and we'll get going. My RZ, I was putting it on upside down. That ain't gonna work. Hey, drink the coffee first. And Ray, I still got that scroll style. It's just sitting right over here to my left, but I haven't used it yet. I'm sure I will. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. As long as I know as long as I keep it in the holes, the area of the holes, it should be pretty good. And something like that. Okay. All right. Take burrs out first. I want my street flavor burr. I'm a mess. I don't have my stuff nice and organized like most. You know, that's the thing. I see how other people do stuff. They got their bits set out real nice and all that. And their own little places for them, you know. Me and my stuff's just plugged in that box. Oh, well, you'll have that right. Okay. I wonder if I go out there and get the quarter. It'd be a lot faster with the quarter, but let's see. Let me play with it like this for a while. about anybody can pick it up, buy one of these, and do this. And that's what makes it a little bit, I think, more appealing. And, you know, chainsaw carving, for me, that appeals to my patience, or the lack of patience. And I love making big stuff, but this is something that's pretty cool because most people could pick it up and do it. Go ahead and shape out the ears next. I think this would be pretty cool for a member's giveaway piece, you know. I mean, a bear, a little bear, 8-inch bear like that, that's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to keep right on rocking, folks. Looks pretty good so far. Not going too bad. All right. Be sure to hit that like button. Appreciate y'all being in here. See that, like the top of the head, the ears, that's all come together pretty well. I might take a little more meat out of here real quick, and then I'll start working on the muzzle. But be sure to hit the like button. Appreciate you guys being in there. Thank you. Realistically, if you can make the head cute, the whole rest of this thing, you know, it could look really goofy and no one would care as long as the head's cute. So just, you know, putting a lot of emphasis on trying to get that head right. You do. head's looking pretty daggone cute. You know, you can see the indentations in there for the eyes and all that. And so I think I'm gonna clean the nose up just a little bit more and go from there. Hey, I finally sold something in my Amazon store. Somebody bought something. I thought that was pretty cool. The fun with that is, I never know who to feel. You know, there's no way for me to discover that. But I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully it was toilet paper. Everybody needs toilet paper, right? I think that head, the basic head of this guy is pretty daggone cute, and I'm gonna move on down and start working the body. So I had a couple different things I could do. I could make this thing and put a little sign here, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dig the pawls out. If you look, the way I cut the arms, it could be so the pawls just kind of come like that, same way, and then I'll have to dig a bunch out of here for the legs too. Hey, Last Breath Woodworks, what's going on, buddy? Another awesome member of the channel. Looks like Susie Q. Yeah, Rhinestone Suzanne. Hey, Suzanne, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm gonna be posting your last finished piece on the dragonfly, and I'm gonna put it on there. I'm gonna say, I don't know why this chick don't have 1 million subscribers, and maybe you get 2 or 3 more. I don't know. I'm gonna try. Anyway, that dragonfly is coming out awesome, and Suzanne is just such an awesome carver. Anyway, but I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put that in the post, and we'll see how it goes. I've been thinking about that for days, waiting until that thing gets done. If you have not seen that, you gotta see it. That dragonfly she's been working on is awesome. know, if you're watching and you're thinking, man, this is pretty cool what this guy's doing with this little tool, that looks expensive, it'd be hard to get into. Let me tell you something, it's really not that bad. So this is the VEVOR 780 watt flex shaft carver. I have a link to this in my Amazon store, but you can buy it however you want. I would just like to encourage you to take this up. This cost $59. It was not bad at all. So not super expensive, easy to use. This one actually will take the burrs up to 6 millimeter or quarter. Like that there would be on this sanding pad. This is a Warrior brand from Harbor Freight, but like the KUTZALL big burrs, the same burrs you'd use for chainsaw carving will fit in this. I've got the little ones in it. But besides that, just to take this up, you buy you a kit, 5 pieces of KUTZALL burrs, or there's other kind of burrs, but you can get those through Rhinestone Suzanne or Wowie's Workplace. You can get the KUTZALL burrs through their links, and you can buy that kit for $100, $160, $170 later. You're into it. You've got everything you need to start making stuff. So I would encourage people to do it. Anyway, all right, let's keep going. Somebody wants to hear me talk. Shut up, I don't even want to hear me talk. How about that? coming out all right. Not too bad. He's looking pretty cute. I'm pretty happy with him. Okay, I'll keep right on going. Y'all be sure to hit that like button. I'm gonna cut on down through the legs and the feet. mean, that's not bad for a piece of a 4x4, you know? And it's fun. I mean, I'm having fun making it, you know? So the back will be kind of rough. I'm not going to get too worried about that. I'll probably still hair it, though. I don't know. We'll see. But the feet, I'm going to start curving the feet now next and go from there. Hey, Billy Shoemate, glad to see you. Woodchucker, what's going on, buddy? Last Breath Woodworks, Michael S., awesome members of the channel. Hey, Rhinestone Suzanne, heck yeah, cool. All right, guys. Hey, Dot, what's going on? Another awesome member of the channel. Heck yeah. Hey, Ray, well, you know. All right, I'm going to keep going. This dude's over. It's on. just thinking about this, that I think for the summer, on Sunday mornings, I might just flex shaft carve unless it's cloudy. And I'll tell you why I'm thinking that. The sun shines. Hey, Elegant, what's going on? Glad to see you in there. Elegant Woodcraft, I wonder if I can make you, let me find out here, add as moderator. And I need to do that for Dot too. But anyway, so okay, yeah, I got you in there. Hey, Dot, if you key up real quick, I can get you, I can make you a moderator. Hey, Jason, Jen, let's make him one too. And I thought it was funny. I mean, we've seen this said on, there you go, Jen, you're a moderator now. And blue team, the blue team, there's Dot. Let me get her. Okay, we were watching Creation Dust, and somebody come in there, and they said, you know, man, everybody on here is a moderator. Yeah, that keeps people from getting too carried away, doesn't it? Keeps their mouths shut. They don't do nothing stupid because they know they're going to get the ditty if they do. Hey, Billy, you on the team now, too. I got you. Is anybody else that watches this on a regular basis, real quick, that is not a moderator? I'm paying attention at the moment. I can fix that. Okay, I'm looking. You got 5 seconds to key up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, must not be. Michael S. Superfan. Billy's on the blue crew. All right. Give him a ditty if they get out of line. But that's the thing. You got that many moderators, nobody gets out of line. I'm going to carve the face in it. That's the plan. If you look at it, it don't have any crack lines to it. And it does have a crack here, but it's kind of going into the tree. So I think I'm going to make a face out of this one next. That's the plan. That is the plan stand. Alright, let's see if I can just knock that off. Sweet. Ready for some tighter burrs and some more detail. That's right, burrs. Don't try to clean that all up. Okay, I'm gonna switch burrs, and hey, 117 light, 118 lights already. Pretty awesome. We'll take it. I'm gonna switch into this coarse pointy burr and start cutting some detail on this dude. The nose holes and stuff like that, and claws, and we'll hair him up last. We'll do that with that goofy bower burr I have, but we mainly use this KUTZALL stuff. In there. I think I'm gonna take a drink of my coffee too. If you guys wouldn't mind me taking a second to do that, I'd take my mask off and do it, you know. But here, let's zoom into this guy. Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Bear. I'm having a good time today. Appreciate you guys watching. Okay, hold on. It might have got a little sawdust in it. I don't know. If it did, it wasn't much. Okie doke. Okay, put my mask back on. Actually, rubber wipe my mouth on. I'll tell you, it's pretty tough life when you're dumb. Heck yeah. Okay, let's get her in.
going to be one of the members live stream giveaway pieces. We already made this last night, the owl, and this bear, and I'm going to have at least one more piece to be chose from for next Friday's members live stream giveaway. If you're not a member, it doesn't matter. If you are a member by next Friday, then it'll matter to you. I think that face detail, little smiling bear, you know, I think that come out pretty good. Nose holes, all that looks pretty good. So we got to give this guy some eyes and give him some hair. I got to do the claws. We got to do the claws of this one. It's plenty fine enough for this guy. not gonna get a chance to do this. Ready for hair. Heck yeah. Let that thing slow down and then I'll start on this piece. We'll see what it ends up being. I'm not sure, but it's going to end up being something. I promise you that. I'm thinking face. That's what my plan was. My original plan was. Let's see. Let's see if that wobbles. Nope, that's perfect. Oh, let's get this guy some hair. pretty good so far. The hair is coming out pretty good. I didn't realize I had it zoomed in that good. That, heck, you can really see what's going on. But the hair is looking pretty good. I think he's looking not too shabby. Dapper little guy, especially considering we're going to give him away next week. More than likely, somebody will pick this piece out or something. We'll see. All right. After I get this hair. It's time to burn this dude some eyes in. Let's make that happen. We'll burn him in some eyes and get off the manpaw, little manpaw eye tool, eye cutter. And I think I want to go with the second from the smallest. Give him some big, cute teddy bear eyes, you know. That'd probably be about right. Let's say something right in there. Zoom. Okay, let's find out. That ain't cute. Super cute little guy, ain't he? Heck yeah, I like him. It'd be better blow that eye out a little bit. Here, clean that up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, this little guy come out so cute. And we're gonna give that away. If you remember, you're eligible to be in next Friday's members only drawing to see who wins. This is going to be one of the options. Okay, I'm going to set him off to the side with this guy. I am going to burn him, darken this. I don't have a lighter handy. I do have a torch, plus I got a fan blowing on me, so I don't know how it would go. And I'm going to carve something else, so anyhow, let me set them off to the side. And here's what we got. I'm thinking face or fish. And I gave Deland my last the fish I had, so I thought about face. I got it in the description, face. I probably ought to stick with face, all right? That's what I said I was going to do. But it would be a good piece to make a fish out of. I'm getting a drink of coffee. Okay, but we'll do face. Let's do that. Let's see how that comes out. All right, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. Hey, baby kisses, good morning. Glad to see you in there. Another awesome member, awesome person in general of the channel. Glad to see you. She don't want to be a moderator though, so we're not going to make her one. Okay. I mean, and honestly, baby kisses, I mean, I've probably, as a moderator on other channels, probably only ever used it maybe 2 or 3 times. And the reason is, the stuff usually happens so fast, I don't even notice it. And somebody will say something stupid, and somebody else was way already on it, and before I ever noticed it. So it don't really do much good for me to be a moderator, but it's because I'm not that fast to catch that kind of stuff for whatever reason. All right, but you can see it coming. Like, you know, you'll see some people are like setting it up to say something stupid before they ever say it. And you can see that coming. I am good at catching that. I will say that. And you can see that they're just kind of waiting to see if we're paying attention. All right, man. Let me give us things in mind. Guidelines. Nothing to go for. Can't be that big because it's not that big a piece. So, the last one of these I had, Chucker wanted. That's all about even. Lips and those tips, the eyebrows. It gives me an idea where to stay. And I'm not good at these. I've done very few. But I've watched other people do them and kind of learn what I'm doing. I'm not good at nothing. I'm good at running my mouth. Okay. carving a piece of kiln dried 2x4 or 4x4, then you get into a piece of cottonwood bark and it just feels like you're carving butter. Out there, and what I'm going for is, Jim's got a big fat lip sticking out underneath his mustache, his lower lip. And I learned that from watching Grayson does. That's how he would do big chainsaw burrs. He would give a big lip sticking out, you know, popping out from under his, yeah. Anyway, you get the point. Then we're going to go to, if I cut some of this off, we're going to go to the so far. I'm gonna switch to a smaller quartz burr, but these looking pretty good. Not too bad, not too good. Can't complain a bit. Heck yeah. And it's, I'll tell you, it's far and away way different than carving that dried Scott pine. I mean, you know, the bear come out cute and all that, but it's a lot harder work than cutting into this cottonwood bark. It's just so much easier. And I know where so much of this stuff is. It's crazy. I see it everywhere. I see trees down and stuff. Once you start looking for it, you really find it. little bit at a time. Just keep on going, you know, having a good time with it. Let's see, how long we've been on here? 92 minutes. That's not bad. We're shooting for being on about 2 hours, so let's go pretty good. Hey, Doc, baby kisses, Billy, shoot, mate. Glad to see y'all in there. Heck yeah. Okay. too much faster. I think these are too big. Yeah. Yeah, that's not right. Screw that. Let's see. I wonder if I ought to make him straight-eyed or looking off to the left or right, maybe. I don't know. I'm just gonna do it. I think I'll make him looking I'm thinking left. Got a little look off to the left, his eyes, and by the time I get the eyelids, it'll be a little bit better defined, but that's going pretty good. Hey, 165 likes. Hey, Raja Bendigo Hana, one of our good friends. Glad to see you in there, Raja. Glad to see you, buddy. Okay, hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm going to keep going and start giving this guy some hair, some eyebrows, do the eyelids, and this will be one of our giveaway pieces for members for next week, so we'll see. All right. The last one I had, Chucker won last time, and he took it. Probably gonna go out there and get my striker for my torch and bring it in here and try to light my other torch so I can burn that bear. about as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Again, let's give him some age line. I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. So there's that guy. And I'm gonna go out and get a striker for that bear. I may paint them eyes, or I may just leave it like it is. Oh, I didn't do that. I'm not complaining about him. I thought about hitting him with some, hitting him with a burn too, but I don't think I'm going off. I think I'm going to leave him just like he is and burn this bear. I am going to burn this bear. So let me zoom out and I'm going to go. I got to shut the shut the fan off, shut the dust collector off, and that way it's not blowing my flame around. And grab my striker. Give me just a second. Man, I still got a little bit of coffee left. You know, it's been 2 hours. So I know I said I was going to start that 6-foot bear this morning, but I had to trade it out for the 8-foot bear or 8-inch bear. And the reason was I got up and I looked out there and that sun is beating down on that log. And I'm like, heck with that. I ain't doing that today. I can do it in the evening. Where I set that log, you got like half shade. So at least if I do it in the evening, I'll be somewhat shaded. Okay, let me grab my striker. Woohoo! I'm not the devil you think that I am. Ain't no excuse, I'm just a man. Oh, daggone Tarzan, he's always flying by. He's kind of a jerk. I don't know if you guys have that. You know, Tarzan. If you live in the country, maybe every now and then Tarzan goes by. And just makes you mad, you know, because you're minding your own business. Next thing you know, some guy's flying by, and I got news for you. It's not like the TV show.
you know, you got to see everything. It's I won't say anymore. It's too much. I don't see that Tarzan, go away. You know. All right, here we go. Let's burn this guy. I might sand some of it off, or I might just leave it like this. By the time I hit it with a clear coat, it don't really seem to matter too much. But he's a little dark right there underneath. And that tells me I probably ought to kind of flap it. I ought to flap sand him off a little bit. But just give him some color. That's it. And like I said, these 3 items I got sitting here on the table right now will be winner's choice next Friday night live, end of the year or end of the month live stream for members, and one member will win something, and they'll get to pick between these 3 which one they want. I think I'll paint the nose and the eyes. I don't know, it's a little too burnt under there. Either that or I have to burn the rest of it more to make up for it. 1 or 2. Really, I think I might try to flap sand it just to spread that out. I could hand sand it if I got a piece of sandpaper in here for my orbital sander. Well, yeah, check out Wowie. He put out a video on how to change the pad on orbital sander. So if you use an orbital sander and you've never had to do that before, good instructional video. He's trying to help people out. That's pretty cool. Okay. Woo, that baby's hot. I mean, let him cool down a little bit. I want to get the top of the head, so I can. There we go. I'm going to paint the tip of the nose and the eyes. Okay. But yeah, it's not going to be done on here because I'm going to, when you sand it like that, it spreads the burnout and it helps even it up. And but that said, I'm not going to have any of that on the face. So if I can find the stuff, let's see what I got in here. There's black. Okay. What about the paintbrush? I like my fine tip paintbrush. Piece of paper. Stick it on the table. We'll paint his nose up and get him done. I should have some paintbrushes in this box now. Should have, would have, could have. Couldn't have done it. Probably did it wrong. Who knows? That's not fine enough to get in the eyes. I don't know where my one I really like is at, but what the heck? Oh, it's never been open. Well, I got a black that's open. There we go. That's a big one. This one, not only is it open, it likes to squirt all over your table and everything else. Oh, okay, he's finally cooled down some. Paint that nose up. Nah, heck with this. I'm going to go get, I know where that paintbrush is at. I'm going to go get it. That is a waste of time right there. Let me get a different one. time goes fast and you're having fun. Yeah, that's something got a good brush to paint that on there. You might help me to sit down too. Okay. To me, and that's another thing. I learned that from creation dust. So you could burn the nose, you could paint the nose. But I'll tell you what, the way he does it, he paints them. And, you know, he always says, I don't like to paint wood. But the one thing you do see him do is he paints the noses and like the lip line. Just paints that stuff so it stands out. And it really does make a big difference in the cuteness overall of this stuff. Because it's all whimsical. You're having a good time. You know, making cute stuff that people will see and smile. And that's what I like about chainsaw carving. And that's what I like about selling chainsaw carvings is you see people coming, you're at an event, and they're looking at stuff, and it's, you know, mostly like the normal stuff that would be at craft fairs and things of that nature. And then they come around a corner and they see bears and, you know, foxes and cardinals and whatever you got. And the smile just comes on their face instantly. It's different. I mean, it's something different than, you know, some people like the more realistic stuff, but I don't make very much realistic stuff because I ain't that good. It's part of it, but you just see people's reactions. What do you think?
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, he's looking cute, eh? Cute little bear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not too bad, not too good. That was out of a piece that I like I pre-chainsaw carved it to make it a little easier to carve. Mm-hmm. And this thing has been sitting over there for a good 3 months, sitting over here on this counter. I just never got around to doing it. I got around to doing it today, and this will be one of the member giveaway options for next Friday. Man, even this paintbrush, I used it to dab too much.
I still think you should do a little frog.
What?
Froggy.
Frog, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not making a frog for the live stream giveaway, you know. If I made one, it'd be a big one to sell. That's not a bad idea. She wants me to make a tree frog. And it's funny, we had these real bad storms come through Wednesday, and you know, last week in the Midwest and East, you know, I mean, it was everywhere. It was in the South. It was everywhere. We had these storms come through on Wednesday night, and we were out and coming home in the dark there about 15 after 9 when it was going through, and the road we would normally take, there was a power line down. And so we took a back road to get to the house, and on that back road, you know, there's leaves everywhere. The road was just covered with leaves, and if you didn't know the road, it might have made you really nervous. But I knew the road, and you know, just driving up through there, I was expecting to come across a limb being down, but I wasn't being like overly cautious by no means. I wanted to be home, and we just run over tree frogs left and right. I mean, they're going across the road and stuff. And I don't mean like running over them, like actually hitting them and killing them. And I'm sure that probably occurred because there was too many of them to avoid them. But they were everywhere. And they're crossing the road. You know, they got blowed out of the trees, and they're all over the ground. And there were some toads too, but it was mostly tree frogs. That was kind of interesting. I thought, you know, try not to kill them. You know, you were try, but you can't guarantee that you're not going to hit some of them. That's just the way it is. Okay, let's paint the eyes. And I'll paint the eyes black, and I might put a white dot on them later. I don't know. I ran out of paint. Trying to get into that lip. Even this paintbrush wasn't working the way I was hoping. That's too much, but whatever. Okay, ain't like I ain't never wasted paint before. Kapow. Fix that. This thing is still hot from the burn. Well, yeah, man, you're burning it with a torch. What do you expect?
You look like it's supposed to be an ice cold in Antarctica or something 10 minutes later. Well, I wish we wouldn't need air conditioning if you could heat up a piece of wood and it put off cold, right? You just put it in the sun, carry it in the house, right? Okay. Keep these eyeballs down in there. And they're down in there. That's the heck of it. I guess paint places I don't want it, but. Oh, yeah, that's looking good. I got that one all right. He don't look too bad. Hello, everybody. I got one eye now. Yeah. 184 likes. Appreciate that. Especially considering I'm flex chef carving. And it's, you know, don't have the pizzazz that chainsaw carving has, the noise and all that. And, but we'll take it, you know. I really like doing both. I'm glad I took this up. I'm going to leave the ears just like that. White inside. But it's a cute little guy. And if you're a member of the channel, this is one of the choices you'll have next Friday that you could potentially win. So that'd be awesome. That's what we got. Okay, so we got that. Now, I'm not going to burn this guy. I'm just going to clear coat him and leave him like that. And that's going to be, or, hey, you know, I got all this paint. I thought about going in there. Nah, it's fine. Just leave it like it is. That's going to be the options. That's what we got. Let's zoom into this guy a little better. Hello, everybody. All right, let me throw this away. And then stick this brush in the cup. And man, that fan's not been on for, what, 10 minutes now? And I'm getting pretty hot. So I think that's what we got. Let me pull up here, pull this thing off here real quick and get, I'll take that out. Take his phone off and get one more zoom out look. Here, we can set this guy up and check him out. He come out pretty cute. He's not like Dad's. The one Dad made was just insanely awesome. Yeah. Hey, Matthew, what's going on? Hey, John, glad to see you guys. Heck yeah. Hey, Ray, we see you. Hey, I'll show you all that scroll saw Ray give me. Yeah, anyway, these are 3 member giveaway pieces for next Friday night. And anyway, I got some other crap over here. Paint tub, I set it down. He also gave me that blade. We were talking, and I was telling him I needed to get another blade for my table saw. And but anyway, he gave me this old scroll saw, and you can tell from I mean, he even gave me blades with it. You know how you go wrong with that? But you can tell where this would come in handy when you're doing that little stuff like that over there, you know, preforming, like how I did the bearer. So I can't wait to put that thing into use here and there and see what I can't do with it. Cut some shapes out and things like that. Like I remember Joe had made some little Bigfoots, and he made a whole bunch of them with a scroll saw or a bandsaw, one of the two. But, you know, like this piece here, he was pre-cut with a chainsaw just to make him go faster. And, you know, something else like these pieces, you know, cutting the angles all the tops and stuff like that. There's a lot of uses for that thing. But anyway, that's what we got, guys. That's what we did for today. And I can't say for this evening. I don't know. I kind of like to start on that bear. But I don't know if that's the way it's going to work out. Hey, EW, the EW, what's going on? The Electric Whittler. Folks, I want you guys to know, the Electric Whittler has the absolute best mail calls you're ever going to see. And he is an awesome carver, too. Awesome Dremel carver. Absolutely love this guy. Let's see. I'll just get in here. Well, hey, EW, I was just getting ready to leave. That's all right, buddy. It's, you know, it's Sunday. You know, people got stuff to do. It ain't no big deal. And it was the sun beating through over here on the carving tent between 8 and about 10. And it's shady now. So if I'd have started later in the day, it's not so bad. But the way the way the sun beats down through there in that time of morning, even though there's like you know, there's walnut trees, some different trees here that hang over it. It doesn't matter because it comes down through there for a while, and it's just absolutely horrible in that like time that I like to carve normally.
And I said, heck with it. I'm a flex shaft carver, especially as hot as he said it was going to be. And I said I was going to do that 6-foot bearer, but I mean, look down there. He's still in the sun, you know. And in the afternoon, and I don't know if I'll get to him today, where the sun ends up at. Now here, I don't know why. Hey, that's the sun, in case you can't see it. I don't know. Yeah, it's a big yellow ball. Anyhow, it gets over these trees, that spot's shaded in the evening, and I didn't really think about that when I said that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting burned. I'm not going to sit there and just burn and sweat and die over it. It can wait, but that's what we got. So I don't know when I'm coming back. Hey, Roger, there you go. I like that. Heck yeah. I don't know if I'm going to work on that today or this evening or not. We'll see. Hillbilly J, make a model of the slingshot shotgun on the bull carving video. Oh, single shot. You know, honestly, I'd have to go back and look and see if it was one of our newer ones or if it's if it's one of our antiques. Honestly, can't remember. But yeah, I like that. Hillbilly J. I think you've been around a minute, haven't you? Here, and John, hey, let me get you fixed up too, John. Okay, Hillbilly J, you're a moderator now. And there we go. John, you're a moderator now. I'm trying to catch up on that stuff. And it's funny. Oh, no kidding. Well, I shouldn't have given that to you then, Jay, but we're going to trust that you got your act together. How about that? And if not, they'll tell me. John's been around a while. Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, John, key up. You should be blue. And yeah, I've been trying to catch that up. I appreciate that, Hillbilly J. We're in Southeast Ohio, just in case you're curious, my man. But anyway, that's what we got. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let's see. 60 beers. What is it? 60 beers? 60 buyers. Okay. Yeah, 60 beers. Okay. Or maybe that's 60 years old. Yeah, 10-4. But heck yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to leave y'all alone so you can get back to your days. And like I said, I don't know if I'll be back in this evening or not. And I might, oh, hunter and gun guy. Yeah. Hey, you'll like this. Now, these aren't, I was a big time shed hunter. And, but anyway, the garage is just covered with, and actually I got more, and I'm like, you know, I got a lot of sheds in the house. So, on the mantle, there was a time period in my life where that just turned into another God for me. And I would go, February, March, actually January, February, March, just looking for antlers all the time. And, I don't have time for that crap anymore, but always pretty cool. Yeah. Let's see, bear and cougar. Okay. Ran for fur. I got you. Heck yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave y'all alone. Like I said, I don't think I'll be back. If I am back this evening, it'll be working on that bear. We'll see. And I ain't gonna hide it. I'm watching Creation Dust more just to get a better idea how to go about that, because he's been doing it all his life. If you're going to learn from somebody, that's who. He is the best of the best as far as I'm concerned. All right, guys, that's what I got. Appreciate y'all watching, and you know the drill. Come back when you can stay later, you schmucks.